Hello, this is Stephanie Cathan, and thank you for joining me to the Master Key to Success video series. This brings us to our 6th visit in the Master Key to Success series, self-discipline. I will go over 8 key points to this principle. Without applying this principle, you will not be able to take possession of the Master Key. 1. A loose tongue is often one's greatest liability. 2. You will have to exercise self-discipline in mastering the common tendency to strike back at those whom you have a cause, real or imagined, for grievance. You must remember that everything you do to or for another, you do to or for yourself, because your every thought and your every act which benefits or injures another person comes back to you in kind, greatly multiplied. So if you feel that you must slander another person, do not speak it. Write it in the sands at the water's edge, then move away from it until the water has flown. 3. You will have to exercise self-discipline over all of your emotions, particularly the emotion of love, hate, fear, and sex. These are the big 4 of your emotions, and they can make you or break you according to the extent of discipline you exercise over them. 4. Your mental attitude needs discipline and control at all times. Lacking this discipline can, and it often does, drive away friends, destroys opportunities to get ahead, brings on physical and mental illness, develops stomach ulcers, and makes peace of mind impossible. 5. I have reserved the emotion of sex for special mention because failure to exercise self-discipline over this emotion probably heads the list of all causes of personal failure. The emotion of sex is the most powerful of all the emotions, and it is nature's great creative instrument which all species of living things are perpetuated. The proper means of self-discipline of the emotion of sex is transmutation, which is the control and direction of this great emotion of feeling toward the attainment of worthy purposes, such as the fulfillment of one's personal purpose in life. Great leaders, artists, orators, industrialists, and professional people have learned the art of sex transmutation through the proper system of self-discipline. Because of the delicacy of the subject of sex emotions, I'm limited as to the information I can give you about this in this visit. Napoleon Hill has covered the subject much more in detail in some of his books. 6. Your stomach also needs discipline through the power of and habits of diet and exercise. Because information on diet and exercise should come from your own doctor, I will not go into details concerning them, except to call your attention to the need for knowledge on the subject. 7. You will need to exercise self-discipline in relation to religion and politics, because our country, which is the most acceptable form of society civilization has yet produced, is made up of various beliefs in connection with both of these subjects. To be happy and prosperous in our country, we must learn to live and let live. To give others privileges that we ask and demand for ourselves, and this often calls for strict self-discipline over self. 8. What I have reserved until the last is my reference to the most important circumstances in which you must exercise the strictest of self-discipline if you are to embrace the use of the great Master Key to Riches. I've referenced to your profound privilege of taking possession of your own mind and directing it to whatever ends you may desire. You cannot take possession of your own mind or direct it to a definite end without a practical system. Mr. Hill devoted the better portion of his life to the revelation and presentation of such a system. And I know that this system works because it has been successfully used by many millions of people throughout the world, including myself. This system not only practical and workable, but it is so simple that anyone who is ready for it may master it and use it successfully. Its use does not call for a genius or a great amount of formal education. It calls only for a will to take possession of one's mind and a definite purpose to which the mind is to be directed. Self-discipline by Thomas A. Edison made him the world's greatest inventor, who revealed to mankind during the first half of the 20th century more of nature's secrets than had been uncovered during the entire previous history of civilization. Self-discipline carried Wilbur and Orville Wright through a multitude of failures and enabled them finally to give the world its first practical airplane, an achievement which has made the world smaller and changed the entire trend of civilization. Self-discipline helped Helen Keller to triumph over deafness, blindness, and the inability to speak, a contribution of afflictions such as most people never experience. Self-discipline helped Napoleon Hill to carry on through years of heartaching discouragement and defeat, and give the world the first practical philosophy of success based on the know-how gained by hundreds of men and women who spent a lifetime by the trial and error method in discovering the principles which lead to personal success. There are some people who believe that our major purpose on earth is that of developing wisdom through struggle and self-discipline. One thing is certain: no one ever becomes very wise without the aid of self-discipline, and no one ever finds peace of mind and happiness without the strict exercise of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the only means of transmuting sorrow into faith. It is the only means by which we may transmute hatred of others into the milder emotion of sympathy for them. It is the only means by which we may reveal and profit by the seed of an equivalent benefit which comes with every adversity and defeat. It is the only means by which we may shut out of our minds the deadly effects of past experiences of suffering and unpleasantness. And it is the means by which we may discover that other self we carry around with us, that self which has great capacity for belief and does not become influenced by failure and defeat. Self-discipline can give us freedom from the fear of death, the most difficult to master of all our fears. It can free us from the disease of hypochondria, the fear of imaginary illness, of which some people suffer and sometimes die. Self-discipline is the means by which we may think our own thoughts, live our own lives as we wish to live them, and remain forever free from the evils of fears and limitations which we have inherited from the dark ages before the dawn of civilization. The Creator never gives one an asset or benefit without passing along with it the means by which to embrace and use it. Self-discipline, therefore, is the means by which the Creator provided us with the method of using and embracing only things of which we have unchallengeable control, the power of our own thoughts. And now, until our next visit, may I remind you that the habit of taking the line of least resistance makes all rivers and some men crooked.